Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Cannes Film Festival has begun in the south of France, but the traditional launchpad for European cinema is seeing something different for 2025. This year, a bit of West Africa is coming to the Côte d'Azur. My Father's Shadow is making history as the first Nigerian film to be an official selection at the festival, showing the rising prominence of Nollywood on the world stage. And investors are starting to take notice.
I'm bursting with excitement about the opportunities that I believe are going to come with this younger generation that are producing some really awesome stuff.
On this week's Next Africa podcast, we look at the rise of Nollywood and the asset managers looking to invest in the industry, betting on blockbuster returns for a new wave of Nigerian cinema. I'm Jennifer Zabasajja, and this is the Next Africa podcast, bringing you one story each week from the continent, driving the future of global growth with the context only Bloomberg can provide. Joining me to discuss this week is our Nigeria bureau chief. That is Anthony Oay Brown. Anthony wrote a story on this that is now available, but he's here with us to talk through it. Maybe you can just start here and give us a bit of a sense of how big Nigeria's film industry is. What are we looking like when we compare Nollywood to the Bollywoods and the Hollywoods?
Yeah, actually, when we compare Nollywood to Bollywood and Hollywood, it's actually not in terms of value, but more in terms of numbers. The Nigerian movie industry produces an average of, I think, based on official figures, more than 2,000 movies in a year, more than 3-4 movies in a day. So that's a lot of movies to produce, and I think it's only second to Bollywood. It employs more than 1 million people, possibly directly, and more indirectly. It's estimated to be worth close to maybe $6.5 billion or thereabouts. So yeah, it's a huge industry. Most of the people who operate in that sector are self-employed producers who started producing movies on their own, and gradually it's beginning to take shape. So it's quite a huge industry locally.
And it gains a lot of attention, obviously, online because people are talking about different films and the cultural aspects of it, right? I think I've only seen one Nollywood film, I must admit.
Yeah, you are in the minority. It's quite huge online. Mostly Nigerians in diaspora love it because it is a means for them to connect to their homeland, to culture, to let their children see what it is like to live in Nigeria and the cultural aspects of Nigeria. But even locally is huge. Years ago, most people would watch Hollywood movies, but increasingly, if you put a Hollywood movie and a Nollywood movie in Nigerian cinemas, you'll get more people going to watch the Nigerian movie than the Hollywood movie. So increasingly, it's becoming dominant. It's quite popular on YouTube, and it's quite popular across Africa. Most African countries, Nollywood dominates the TV screens. So yeah, and the stars are quite popular across Africa.
Do you find yourself watching a few films here and there, Nollywood films?
Yeah, I do. I have my favorite producers, and once I see their movies, I definitely want to watch. Maybe because of the quantity of movies produced in Nollywood, not all of them are of the quality that most people will want to watch. So there are specific producers for me that once I see, I know the movie is a bit, the quality is higher than the normal Nollywood movie, so I will want to watch. I will definitely go out to watch them, yeah.
And you mentioned the quality aspect of it, which brings to light the likes of Netflix and Amazon that have also, over time, obviously become more and more entrenched and aware of what is happening with Nollywood. What have their investments meant for the industry?
One of the uniqueness of Nollywood is the fact that they produce very low-cost movies. I don't think anywhere in the world you can get the low-cost movies that Nollywood produces. They can produce a movie with even $1,000 or 35,000, usually very low figures. So the shooting is done just as they can actually produce movies in 2-3 days compared to most other parts of the world. So that makes the quality of the movies they produce normally not that good. But with Amazon Prime and Netflix, they came in and then they they invested money initially, and that helped the producers do better quality movies. Those that already had an idea of what quality movie is all about. And that improved the standard in the industry, and I think changed somehow the direction of the industry. So yeah, I think Amazon Prime and Netflix actually had a very and still have a very positive influence on the industry, because if you want to get your movie on their platform, it has to be of a certain quality.
That's where it's interesting, especially
Mm,
based on your reporting,
mm,
how some filmmakers and streamers are changing the way that they fund some of these films. You mentioned a lot of them can be made for, $1,000 here and there.
mm.
What's actually changed with the investment models, and do we know yet what the impact will be?
I think sometime late last year, Amazon Prime and Netflix decided that they won't commission movies again. And that means they were not going to give movie producers money to go ahead and produce the movie. But if you produce a good quality movie they like, they can buy it from you. That provided an opportunity for asset managers to come into that industry, in the sense that if you can show that you have a contract with Netflix or Amazon Prime that they will take your movie from you, then they will help you fund the movie. So that has changed the mode of funding for the industry, in the sense that now movie producers know that there's an end market for their product. Asset managers see that there's going to be a buy-in. The Netflix and the Amazon Prime will pay for the right to air the movie, to stream the movies in dollars. And that also is a hedge against currency risk locally. The Naira has been very volatile. So if you get any source of dollar income, it becomes very positive for local players. So the asset managers are seeing it as an opportunity to earn dollars by selling a product that has a good upside, because it could, if the movie is very good and earns more money, then they could also make more money from it. So that changed the model, and so it's making asset managers look at that industry and putting money down for movies to be funded. And of course, that has also improved the quality of movies that is being produced, because they won't fund a movie that will not do well. So they set the standards, they make sure that the movie is of the right quality, that that Netflix and Amazon Prime will be interested in taking it up and streaming. So yeah, so that has changed sort of the industry, is inspiring more people to push for quality movies that will in streaming rights.
And Anthony, stick with us. When we come back, we're going to talk more about who's stepping in to invest and why they're hoping for blockbuster returns. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today, we're talking about Nollywood as the Nigerian film industry continues to make waves on the international stage and also domestically. Anthony Oay Brown, our Bloomberg Nigeria bureau chief, is joining us this week to dig into this. So, Anthony, you were explaining a bit more about how asset managers and new forms of capital are being injected into Nollywood and the industry more broadly. I wonder, in your reporting and when you were speaking to some of these asset managers, what did they tell you that stuck out to you? Why are they so keen? Is it because of the currency hedging? Is it because they're themselves interested in Nollywood? I mean, what sort of anecdotes did they give you?
I think one of the things that stuck out is the fact that they see this as a very viable source of long tenured income for the industry. So they're doing both debt and equity. On the equity side, they see that there's no end to it, because think of it, there are movies that were shot in 1960s, 1970s that are still being shown today. So for them, once you have the intellectual property rights sorted out, that means a good movie, how and where you have an equity interest, could become an endless source of income, Because if it's very good, maybe 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, people will still want to buy the IP rights to either stream it or to show it somewhere or to maybe a remake, a sequel, whatever. So once you get the right movie done, there's an endless possibility to it. Then besides the returns that they are making in terms of the investing in it, they are making returns of on the equity side. One of the key funders said they are making returns of 30 to 40% return on equity, which is high. You can hardly make that in any other investments locally. So that's a big attraction for them also. And then, of course, the key part is the ability to hedge your returns because you're getting paid in dollars. And if you're getting paid in dollars and you're funding in naira, they're funding the movies in naira, but getting paid in dollars. So there's an upside on that, considering that the currency has been weakening for the last 1 year. So 2 years. So that for them, those are the key things that they are looking at and makes Nollywood quite attractive for them to put money in.
Yeah, it's sort of a net positive. And even the model that you're outlining there, it seems like that is probably what a lot of the Hollywood studios were thinking 40, 50 years ago when they were creating these films that are still getting some of the returns, as you were mentioning there, because they're cult-like favorites or something like that. So the opportunity clearly is there, Anthony. It's really fascinating. We started off talking today on the podcast about My Father's Story, which is premiering at the Cannes Film Festival. This is very notable for people who have been following the Nollywood industry more broadly. When we look at a few years down the road, though, if we do continue to see maybe a bit more discernment about what's made and what's not, should we expect more presence from Nollywood films in European and American cinemas? And I say that because, we also talked to Mo Abudu, who has aspirations for that. Is that where we're headed?
Yeah, I think that's where we are headed. I think we'll increasingly see Nollywood getting into the international main movie scene because of the increasing quality of the movies they are producing. With Netflix and Amazon Prime, they are increasingly being seen by non-Nigerians. If you go online and check the statistics of who is watching Nollywood, you're increasingly seeing them appearing in countries that are not known to have a dominant Nigerian population or a sizable Nigerian population. So increasingly it's gaining mainstream attraction. So yeah, and then they are beginning to, because of the quality of movies, they are beginning to be seen in the right places. So we're likely to see them increasingly compete with the global players. And then because they also want to gain international attention, they are beginning to go into collaborations. And then that's where the asset managers come in too, because the asset managers want the movies to be globally competitive. They're also encouraging producers to go into partnerships with established stars in other parts of the world. So they're they're increasingly trying to get African Nollywood stars into Nollywood movies. Even I've heard of where they are trying to partner with Bollywood stars also in a bit to widen the appeal of Nollywood movies. So we're gradually going to see these collaborations and these movements where you see that Nollywood increasingly goes into mainstream globally and people start seeing Nollywood as just the way they probably see Hollywood or Bollywood. But it's going to take some time, but I don't think that's too far away, that we are likely to see that happening very soon. Yeah.
Anthony, can you give me a Nollywood film that I should watch?
The Black Book.
Okay.
Go watch it. The Black Book is quite interesting. The Gangs of Lagos, that's on Amazon Prime. I think it's also very interesting. I think those are good Nollywood movies.
I'm going to go for it. I love a good film. So it's nice to see this industry sort of taking off. Anthony, thank you so much for your reporting. It was really great to speak with you. We'll make sure to share your story in the show notes. Thanks, Anthony. This program was produced by Adrian Bradley and Tiwa Adebayo. Don't forget to follow and review this show wherever you usually get your podcasts. I'm Jennifer Zabasajja. Thanks as always for listening.